If there is one thing that I truly love, it's a story that is just nutty enough to have you scratching your head regarding how much of it, if any, is true. Such is the case with a story that I've heard numerous times over the years, but really never bothered to look into. You see, I kept hearing this story because I'm a fan of the great one, Mr. Jackie Gleason. You know, they don't make him like this guy anymore. He was so darn talented as an actor and comedian. The guy, without knowing how to read or write sheet music, was able to successfully compose album after album of mood music by simply sharing all of the amazing melodies rattling around in his head with others. Gleason also loved the sport of golf, and it was there on the golf course where Gleason really bonded with another avid golfer, the then President of the United States, Richard Milhouse Nixon. During one particular round, one sunny day in Florida, the two started talking about the paranormal, and in particular UFOs, unidentified flying objects, and as the two conversed, it became apparent to Gleason that his golfing buddy might know more than he was able to share. Even if he wanted to, perhaps he couldn't. Or could he? For you see, according to most accounts of this story, later that evening, as dusk approached, Gleason heard a knock on his door, and when he went to answer it, he saw Nixon flanked by a couple of Secret Service agents. And the president told him, "Come on, we're going for a ride." And before you know it, Gleason and Nixon were headed to Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. Now let me stop here and say that up to this point in the story, I'm a believer. I really do believe that based on everything I've read, that Gleason and Nixon did indeed go down to the Air Force Base so that the president could show his golfing pals something really cool. However, beyond that, who's to say what the rest of what I'm going to share is fact or fiction or something in between? I'm just going to retell it to the best of my ability, and then I'll let you decide. For you see, according to multiple accounts, Nixon showed Gleason numerous alien corpses. Some of them were intact, and others were mangled, as if destroyed during a catastrophic crash of some sort. Whatever happened that night, by all accounts, it opened Gleason's eyes to the idea of life beyond the stars and changed him forever. The first published account of the incident was in the National Enquirer during the early 80s. Other tabloid magazines picked up on the story, which was related by Gleason's ex-wife, who was quoted as saying, "I'll never forget the night in 1973 when my famous husband came home, slumped white-faced in an armchair, and spilled out the incredible story to me." Another version of the incident can be found in the book UFOs Among the Stars by author Timothy Green Beckley. Like I said earlier, something happened that night. Something very mysterious and something extremely odd. And whatever it was, it gave the great one the absolute shock of his life and opened his eyes to worlds beyond our own. If you would like further evidence of Jackie Gleason's fascination with flying saucers, look no further than this overhead view of his one-time Florida home. Regardless of whether or not you believe this story, I think we can all agree that Gleason was the absolute best as Ralph Cramden in the classic TV sitcom The Honeymooners. I'll post a link to the Amazon page where you can purchase a DVD of the classic 39 episodes from the original version of the show that ran during the mid-50s. Those episodes were such great television. Okay, that's it. One last picture. This time let's go with a cover from another classic Gleason album. This one is called Music to Change Her Mind. So what do you think? If you were skeptical of the story before, have I changed your mind? Or do you think this story is nothing more than a modern-day tall tale? Let me know in the comments section. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, please click on the thumbs up icon to let me know. And what the heck, why not consider subscribing to my channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.